Good morning, everyone. It's Friday, May 16th. It's 9 a.m. Central Time here in Texas. I'm not gonna lie, I'm running behind today. Instead of waking up at 4, I woke up at 7. So I'm trying to get everything done here prior to this live show. I am talking to myself on the camera. If you are there, let me just confirm that's live or someone's already seen this. Just open my app here and let's give it a try. Okay, here we go. I think I'm live. Awesome. Cool. All right, everyone. Good morning. This is Dayvisson GPT. This is me. You get what you get. It's free. I'm not gonna. There's a lot of experts and a lot of people there, claiming all sorts of things, and I dare them to come live and give back to the community and answer questions live and be able to connect. So I'm here. I'm Dayvisson GPT. I created this about 6 months ago. I was getting a lot of questions, a lot of DMs. I do not have time to do a lot of those one-on-ones, 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 1 hour cough chats. I have 4 kids. I'm an entrepreneur. I have a bunch of clients that I'm trying to help. And anyways, life is busy, right? So I created this 1 hour office hours here, and you can ask me anything. You can ask about immigration. I'm originally from Brazil, came to US about 20 years ago, so half of my life has been here, half of my life in Brazil. Got my MBA, so you can talk about education. I'm kind of, got a lot of opinions about education these days. Anyways, daddypreneur here, but at the end of the day, it's tech sales. I do coach and help people get into tech sales, get better jobs in tech sales, and that's what I do full time now. So this time is for you. Ask me anything. I'm going to be here. If nobody asks questions, I go to my DM. I find the questions there that came throughout the week. If I don't find there, I had I'll say 5-6 calls this week. I can look at my calendar where I was coaching and training and help people for free, doing advice. And also I have all my coaching clients and things that I'm seeing on the market right now and things that I can talk about it. So there's plenty of ideas and things, but this time is yours. So I want to make sure I'm answering your questions. Now it's really tricky if you're open to work, if you're looking for a job right now, it's easy to just, sorry, my allergies every morning. It's easy to come here if you're looking, open to work and all that and ask questions. But if you are at your job and maybe listening to this, you don't want to drop your name, questions here so people know that you're looking for a job, right? So you're kind of in the stealth mode, open to work, but not really open to work because you're not as public yet. Send me a question on my DM. All right. I can answer live here. I'm not going to mention your name, or just send me a question throughout the week and I'll answer here on Friday. So I'm going to pause for a second, make sure anybody can actually see me. And I'll just keep talking. Let me check my DM first. It's been an interesting week for the tech sales industry, right? That's all over the LinkedIn, but about layoffs and that kind of stuff. So I want to talk about layoffs in just a second. I got an opinion. All right. Let me go to my phone. First, let me see if there's any questions here. Okay. Good luck. Love the energy, design aspect of value. Can't wait to tune in, learn more about tech sales and branding in real time. Okay, so I don't see any questions here yet, so I'm just going to be available. let me go to my DM and answer the questions that I have here. Just give me a second. Okay, here we go. I'm just gonna go talk, guys. If I don't have questions, I'm just gonna keep talking here. So whoever's listening, don't get bored. Now, uh, so this week on LinkedIn, the biggest thing is everyone is talking about layoffs, right? I see that on my feed because most of my network on LinkedIn are tech sellers. Most of the people that I know are in technology industry, and there's a lot of layoffs in tech sales in the industry in general. Not only sales, but engineers, product managers, marketing, HR, and all that. So I see that all the time on my feed and people talking about it. But those things are happening on every single industry. Let's just be honest. Now, the other fact is here on LinkedIn, LinkedIn itself had layoffs, right? Microsoft, who runs LinkedIn, who's owns LinkedIn, had layoffs. And a lot of the people, let's be honest, a lot of the people who are here on LinkedIn, they are part of the technology industry. They are trying to see the newest trends. They're trying to network. They're trying to learn. They're trying to uh, find the next best opportunity. So they are active here, everyone. So don't think like layoffs and changes on the market is just on the technology industry. It's just part of the whole entire world right now, right? So there's this AI movement. A lot of people are gonna be either staying behind or they're going to be qualifying themselves for the new opportunities. So we're going to see this more and more and more, not only in the technology industry, but also in every other single industry. Now, I say that because, again, I am in the technology industry. My connections are in the technology industry, like I'll say 70% of them. And that's what I see a lot on my post. And I can talk about my personal experience a few months ago when I got laid off and let it go by Microsoft. So, which some people might think was, oh my gosh, what's next? This, what are you doing? What are you gonna do? And I can actually dive a little bit deep into that. I just want to see if there's any questions here, and I don't want to talk too much about this topic because I believe deep inside. I know it sucks. I know it's hard. I know it's hard for everyone, no matter who you are. I don't care if you're like if foreseeing the layoff coming, if you you know you got the red flags, or if you're not. It's hard for everyone. And listen, it's not only hard for the people who leave, it's also hard for the people who stays behind. They're missing coworkers, they're missing managers, they're missing friends, and they're getting more jobs. They have to do more with less and with the same amount of time. And because some people get laid off, it doesn't mean necessarily the other people are going to get, the ones who stay behind are going to get paid more money. That money is relocated to some other things. So it's hard for everyone. Let's just be 100% honest. Layoff, just that word itself, it's just not a good word, right? Now, I believe in proactivity, I believe in positivity, and I cannot dwell so long on the negativity. I get in trouble all the time with my wife because sometimes she just want to talk about the problems, and I need to show empathy and I need to listen, but I just want to fix. I am I'm a strategist. I see the problems, I see the solutions right away. I see the roadmap, and I just want to fix. That's what I do. That's what I like to do. That's what I enjoy, and I just love doing it. So for me to dwell too much on the problem, it doesn't make sense for me, right? Uh, Again, stay there, but don't stay there for too long. Okay, you gotta find a way to step up, to move on, to do something different. Um, and you can do that by having a strategy, right? A strategy will give you. You build a strategy with faith because you're building something out of scratch. Like, I'm gonna find this next opportunity. I don't know what it is, but I know it's there. It's for me. If you believe in a higher power, in God or the universe, just you pray for it, right? You concentrate, and you give your thoughts, and you make this plan, this strategy out of thin air. But it's based on your experience. It's based on the things you have learned in the past. It's based on your education, your professional experience. You're not starting from scratch again, right? You have your entire life. You have like 2, 5, 10, 20, 30, 40 years of a career that you can build something amazing, right? So you build that strategy from there, and you find your next step, and that builds, you build that with faith, and that is going to give you hope, and then hope is going to keep you uh, networking. It's going to keep you going after. It's going to keep you positive and moving forward. And then as you move along, and then you serve, and then you try to find the right opportunities for the right reasons, and just be yourself, and everything's connected. And trust me, you're gonna be out of it in no time if you move on, if you have a strategy, if you work in your mindset. Um, Otherwise, it's just gonna be uh, painful, right, for too long. As a coach, as a high performing coach, my goal is to accelerate and reduce that pain and make sure you move forward. Right? Make sure you go to the next step. That's my goal. That's what the coach does. Uh, I can see the problem. I can see your potential. I can see your skills. I can see your abilities. I can see all these amazing things that you can do. And then I can see where you want to go. And I see the gap. And because you're in the middle of the fire, because you're in the middle of the problem, it's hard for you to visualize. But I can see, and I know you can make the pivot. I know you can make the change. I know you can get the job done. And that's my job, is to help you go from point A to point B successfully and faster and effectively, right? Okay, man, I keep going on and on and on. I talk about this stuff, but let me look at my. I'm not getting any questions here today. It's pretty quiet, but let me go ahead and look at my DMs here. Just give me a second. Okay, so I got a question here. Someone trying to break into tech sales from the telecommunication industry, right? Someone who's already a seller, is experienced, trying to come from telecommunication to tech sales. Both starting with TE, tech sales, same family. You can totally do it. Transferable skills. No matter which sales role you have the transferable skills needed to be successful in tech sales. Now, the biggest challenge is a lot of times uh, the biggest challenge that I see here. Let me start this over again. The number one challenge, I'll say this: the number one challenge that I see when people try to transition from a sales role to a tech sales role is that a lot of those people, at least on their resume, at least on their LinkedIn profile, they are not really showing the the tech sales language. They're not really showing the numbers that is needed to be successful in tech sales. They're not really showing, uh, achievement and impact, right? So that's all you gotta work on, right? You gotta think. Your resume, your LinkedIn needs to have the numbers. It has to have the impact that you provided during your sales experience. A lot of times, we're just busy trying to get the job done. We're just busy trying to um, to provide value to our clients, to sell our solutions, to just do our job, our day-to-day job. And sometimes we forget uh, that we need to track the impact that we're having. One of the amazing things that Microsoft is really, really good at doing is helping its employees keep track of the impact of the things that they have done, that they make the impact not only on the client, but on the team, to the organization as a whole. And almost forces you to have a journal to keep track of stories, numbers, statistics, all these good things. And if you don't have that, displayed, good luck. Like, that needs to be part of your story. So as you are thinking about transitioning from sales to tech sales, that's the number one thing you need to think about it is how did I, what kind of impact I had with quantitative numbers, stats, percentages, years, quarters, get all the stuff. You don't have to fudge numbers. You don't have to integrity first, hours first. You don't have to lie, but you have to come up with a way to quantify your work. Otherwise, it just becomes a job description. Your resume, your LinkedIn, it's just a job description. That's literally, I have been coaching, I have been helping people for almost 15 years since college. And number one problem that I see in resumes, the number one problem of any resume is not the format, it's not the typo, it's not the order. All the stuff is important, all the stuff needs to be fixed. The number one problem is that the resume looks like a job description. Again, the number one problems of resumes is that they look like job description. You need to get out of the job description to the job impact. What did you achieve? So here's a tip. Let me look at my on the chat here, see if there's anybody asking questions. There's no questions here. Let me look at my DM. Dayvisson, great webinar, all the best. No question. Just thank you. Keep private here. All right. Yeah, this is not a webinar. This is just a Q&A session. And again, if anybody's listening to this is just an office hours. It's 1 hour that I take to answer any questions live. Not a webinar, not a workshop. I have no agenda here. I have no notes. I'm just here talking. So if nobody gives me a question, I just keep talking. Or I can just go and look for my questions here. I was talking about resume. Okay, here's a tip. Find a blank piece of paper. Here we go. Let me show you something. Maybe this is gonna help someone who's listening to this. I know some people listen to this after this live and they send me thank yous. So here's for you. All right, give me 1 second. All right, I'm gonna call this resume. All right. Number one tip. Yeah, resume number one tip. All right. If you forget anything that I have said here today, or if you are paying someone to do resume for you, or if you're asking people feedback on resumes, remember this one. Remember this one. I talk to a lot of people every week, and I have seen this for a decade, over a decade. Please listen to this. This is the resume tip number one. Imagine, okay, so you have the jobs, and you have. Oh, I got a question here for Alex. Alex, I'm just gonna finish this thought, and I'm gonna answer your question. So imagine, you have the job, the description, and you have the role, and you have the date, and all that, and you have the bullet points. All right, now that bullet point, that little bullet point for the job description is, believe it or not, you actually in control a lot of times of what the recruiter, the hiring managers, and the people are going to be asking you during the interview process. Just think about that for a second. You, as you build your resume, you can actually control part of the interview or most of the interview. Because think of this. A resume, the number one goal of the resume is to guide. First is think there's a hook. I like to use this analogy. So the resume is a hook, and you want people to read and look at it and be like, just push you to an interview, right? Oh, I like Dayvisson. I like this story. Let's bring him to an interview. Now, once you get to the interview, that bullet point becomes gold, because every bullet point that you have should be a story. Again, let me repeat that: a story of impact, a story of result. So every bullet point, story, impact, result. Again, every bullet point should be a story of impact and result. It should not be a job description. It should not be saying like, as a tech seller, I'm responsible to manage my accounts and provide customer service. No, 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 no. Every bullet point needs to be a story. It needs to have a place, a time, a name, a number of impact. Did you save money? Did you make more money? Did you save time? Did you optimize anything? What did you do? Right? So that bullet point, just imagine to test the bullet point to see if it's good or not. Imagine a piece, a blank piece of paper like this one. Put the bullet point by itself. If the bullet point it stands strong, and someone who's reading, who doesn't know your name, who doesn't know who you are, who doesn't know the company you're working for, the job, if they read that bullet point, if it makes sense, wow. If the bullet point says wow, there's an impact here, it's a good bullet point. That bullet point is just like telling a job description, uh, and there's no connection to, someone cannot connect who the company was, which role you were in. Like if it doesn't click, it's not a good point. It's not a good bullet point. So go down in your resume, every single bullet point needs to tell a story of impact and result. That's it. That's it. Okay, if you can do that, you're gonna crush in your resumes. You're gonna start getting more interviews, people more interested. Now let me answer this question here. What did Okay, so Alex Marquez. Hey brother, how are you, man? Haven't talked in a while. Life taking over, busy. What is the recommendation how to make this transition from job description to job impact? Any tools? Okay, so I mean, that's a great question. There's hundreds of tools out there. I would just start with ChatGPT. Okay, I would just start with ChatGPT. Now I have my own coaching tool where my clients can it's based on their profile. It's trying to answer specific questions for their own need, for their target, for their strategy, for their roles, based on their resume, cover letter, LinkedIn, and all that. It captures all that. Now there's a bunch of tools. I like to teach principles. I like to teach people how to fish instead of uh, teaching them, giving them the fish. So the principle here is this is the principle right now. Which tool? I would start just ChatGPT is free. How you do it? We can give. Let me see if I can give an example here. So basically, what you do, you get whatever bullet point you have that you feel like is weak. Okay, take that specific bullet point, put in the ChatGPT, and you can ask. I need to make this bullet point on a we can even say in a star format, which is situation, task, action, results, which is a story. It's a format of a story, right? That usually people talk about all the time when you go to interview process. Be right for your stars. So again, go to ChatGPT, take your bullet point, and say this is. You can even attach the job description of the role that you're going to apply for. Attach on ChatGPT and ask the question. Please help me transform this bullet point on a storytelling format that shows the impact and the result of this specific task or activity that I created. ChatGPT is going to create that for you. You can even say, make it a 2-line, make it 3-line, make it bigger, make it smaller, whatever you want to make, and keep consistent to my history. And you're going to be surprised what you're going to take out of that. And you can do that. You can get your resume. It might take like an hour. You can do that with your entire resume, and you can always whatever ChatGPT gives you. You can always review and put it back. Now, sometimes it's hard to do it by yourself because it's always good to have other people asking you questions. And that's what I do with my clients. I ask them questions. I try to be inquisitive to make them think on those impacts, the results. But we can even ask ChatGPT to be like, hey, this is not impactful enough. Um, and then go from there. Now, there's all sorts of other tools. I use CareerFlow for my clients, one of the best out there, that we can do all this work for you easily, and can help you build a resume based on your job that you're applying. So great question, Alex. I love that question. Hopefully that was helpful. There's 2 tools over there. ChatGPT, free. CareerFlow, free. There's paid versions, but you don't need nothing more than that. I don't like too much about concentrating on tools, but those are the ones I would recommend. That's the one I use right now. I'm learning how to use more and more. So, which brings me to a point. On this whole job search, I wish I had another paper. Give me a second. I do have paper. All right, here we go. So this is what I think. All right. Okay, so let me make a triangle here. Um, Give me a second. All right. So use a triangle. All right. And here's you. And here's your offer. So basically, you want to get to the offer, right? It's right in the center. You want to get to the offer. Now, as simple as I can be here, there's 3 things. Again, there's 3 things that you have to concentrate during your job search. 3 things. And this is what I use with my clients, and this is what I teach people on a daily basis. Okay? There's 3 things that you gotta concentrate as you're looking for jobs. Some coaches call different names. We're not reinventing the wheel here, everyone. ChatGPT might call something else. This is Dayvisson GPT, okay? Hang with me. So there's 3 things. The first one is strategy. The second thing you need is I call visibility. And the third, number 3, I call communication. Let me tell you why. All right. So there's 3 things that you gotta concentrate as you're looking for a job. Okay. You gotta concentrate on your strategy. You gotta concentrate on visibility, and you gotta concentrate on communication. Let me tell you why. Why those 3? Of course, you don't have time to go over every single details here, but if you have questions about those 3 areas as I'm speaking, just let me know. Okay. Again, this is Dayvisson GPT. This is live. It's live coaching here. If you have a resume, if you need resume review, if you need LinkedIn review, if you just got laid off, you don't know what to do, if you need strategy ideas, I'm here for you. This is my time giving to you. Okay, I'm trying to build community and I'm trying to give back at the same time. And this is why I'm doing this Dayvisson GPT. Now, what do you think about when I say strategy? Such a nebulous and such a generic word, right? There's a reason why, because it incorporates so much, a lot of times. So again, if you're trying to get an offer, there's three things that you need to concentrate on your strategy, your visibility, your communication. If you're not getting an offer, if you're not getting a job, it's because something's broken in one of the three areas and needs to be fixed, or something's broken on two of those pieces and needs to be fixed, or something's broken on the three. Okay? Now, if there's nothing wrong on the three, first, you will have an offer already, multiple offers, by the way. And second, you wouldn't be listening to this. Right? So you try to find out, okay, what's wrong? It's okay. Like, nobody's perfect. Nobody got this nailed down 100%. Nobody. Why? Because if you get those three down, there's shifts on the market. There is the things you cannot control. It's all part of this whole thing, right? So there's an art and there's a science. Okay, I'm trying to teach you kind of the science, the things that I have seen here over and over and over again, talking to multiple coaches, reading multiple posts here on LinkedIn on a weekly basis. Everything lays down to those three. Okay. Now, strategy is, I'll give you an example. People sometimes they're just lost. Okay. They just don't know what's next. So that's life strategy, life coaching, right? So that's something that I can do and help. That I usually do a lot of times. Sometimes it's just they don't know which company to target, or they're transitioning from sales to tech sales. How do I do this? The how do I do this is a strategy. Okay, a strategy. Or why? Like why do I why do you want to work for a big company like Microsoft? Why do you want to work for IBM? Like why? So the why, the how, the when, the timeline, when should I be applying, those things, like the why, how, when, timeline, needs, targets. Like, should I go for big tech, small tech, unicorns, startups? Should I do? Should I apply remotely? Should I? All sorts of questions, right? There are multiple questions here that everyone has a different need. You might work on the same company, in the same role, same team. Your life is unique. You have different needs, and your why is different than anybody else's why. I guarantee you 100% we are so unique, more than we even imagine. And so this piece here is very personal. It's very personal. Okay, so the strategy again, it's like how, why, how, when, timelines, needs, targets, personal, top 10 companies you work for. Just get why is strategy important? Strategies give you clarity. Clarity gives you power. Power gives you energy to show up on interviews, to be applying for the companies that you want to work for. It helps you save time. It helps you be more strategic, right? Strategy, become more strategic. Now, is that making sense? I don't know if anybody has any questions. I'm going to stop here for just 1 second. But that's the strategy piece, okay? Now, if you're not getting hits, if you're like all over the place, I'll give an analogy. I'll give an example. Dave, so I want to go on a vacation. I want to go on a vacation. All right? Okay. He says, Dave, so I want to get a job. Okay. All right. I get it. A job. Okay. Now, the job means a career. The job means your dream job. It's a big deal, right? So I want to go on vacation. Like, you just want to go like on a staycation, go to the mall. Are you going to Fiji? Your dream vacation. So it is different, right? Uh, so I got a question here. So let me focus on the question. So I'm talking about how do you get to the offer, right? So the strategy, visibility, and communication. What separates Zachary Smith? Thank you for the question. I'm doing my best here to answer. Okay, let me put over here. What separates those that get interviews versus those who don't when applying? Yeah, exactly what I'm trying. Good question. That's exactly what I'm trying to answer. So it's a process. Okay, it's a process. Uh, the ones who do get interviews, they have the right strategy and they have the right visibility. Okay, they went through phase one and they went to the. Let me get this is the other green color here. Great question. So in order to get an interview, you gotta go first. Okay, step one strategy, step two visibility. When you get those through those two, then you get to the interview. Okay. Now the question is, do you have the right strategy? Do you have the right visibility? Right. So when you're more than qualified, exactly. So great points right there. So let's say you have the right strategy. You know the company that you want to work for. Thanks, I know my why. I know my top 10. This is my target. I'm super qualified. I got my resume down. My LinkedIn's on fire. But I'm getting hits. But people are coming to me and all that. I'm getting hits, but I'm not getting interviews. So now, when you don't get interviews, because step two is broken. I mean, not broken. I don't want to be like too dramatic or too negative here. The stop two can be fixed. Your visibility, okay? People hire for the people that they know, like, and trust. Just like in sales, we know that we're sellers. We know that people buy from the people that they know, like, and trust. If you're not seen, you're not remembered. If people don't know you, they cannot like you and they will not trust you. The first thing that they need to do is know that you exist. It's visibility. And how we do visibility, right? You're super qualified, more than qualified. You gotta work in your visibility. You gotta work in your visibility. Now, how you do that? That's the question. The good question, right? So why I say visibility? Because that incorporates network, which people talk about all the time. You know, the 80-20 networks 80% of the time, apply 20% of the time. So you gotta work on the network. So let's say, I'll give more specific. Let's say, all right, Zachary, since you came here, I'm going to a LinkedIn profile, okay? If it's okay. Hopefully, I'm just gonna look something really fast. I'm not gonna be give you any live feedback here unless you allowing me to. All right, Zachary. I just want to use your example here really fast. See if we're connected or not. Oh, gosh, where can I find it? Zachary Smith. There's a few Zachary Smiths here, that's why. Okay, why I'm not finding you, Zachary? Can you send me an invite on LinkedIn? Reconnect. I found you. All right, so let's start with this, okay? So you're on the second level connection. So, but right now, by being here live, like, you got visibility, right? You got visibility. Now I know who you are. Oh my gosh, now I know who Zachary Smith. Okay, he's a senior sales executive, senior strategic account manager, all that. Amazing career, Fortune 500. Good. Now, you got to think like this. For the company that you want to go for the company that you want to apply for, do you have visibility with them, right? How do you get that visibility? Of course, you have to network, right? And how do you network? You're going to have to, number one, two, LinkedIn. Via LinkedIn, there's multiple strategies that we don't have time to go over here that that you can have access to the right people on the right organization at the right time, and you don't even have to apply for jobs. You're going to be invited for the interview processes. You're going to be invited even before the interview or the jobs open. That's visibility to the core, to the point that you don't even have to apply, that you get invited for the interview. And that's what I do with my clients. Visibility to the point that, sorry, recruiters actually come to you, right? That's the goal. The least, the path of resistance. Not applying on the black hole or 1,000 other people are applying, but having that visibility where people, the KLT, the know like interest index is so high. Let's bring Zachary to the interview. Boom. All right. Because he's qualified. And we didn't know that he existed. Now we know. We kind of like him. He's smiling. First of all, he has a nice picture on LinkedIn. He has a really nice LinkedIn profile. And I kind of trust him because I see some good stuff here that he made. But let's talk to him. Let's interview him. Let's see what Zachary is all about. So then, those three buckets of like in trust start getting filled, right? So those buckets start getting filled. So what you need is visibility. Now, the bucket, like KOT, right? Now, Zachary, when you get visibility, then you start getting interviews. Okay? Best way to get visibility. Again, I have talked about last week, and I do post about this, and I cannot say that enough. What's going to separate you from the crowd, from this highly competitive environment, right? Because it's always competitive. But yeah, it sounds like the market now. I don't get into this external because I'm a mindset coach as well. So I focus on the things we can control instead of what people are saying, what the government's saying, what the environment's saying. Hey, you gotta focus here. You get on the field, you get on the court. It's game time. You cannot listen to the 1,000 coaches that are on the benches, tens of thousands of problems, and people saying that you're gonna fail, that there's no jobs, that there's layoffs. Forget all that. You gotta be on your zone. Okay, be a pro. Right. High performing professionals. They focus and they get the job done. It's freaking hard, but they get it done. They get it done. They get the visibility by networking strategically. Okay, by sending the right messages, by sending the right audio, videos, whatever it takes to get the visibility. And then they're gonna start getting the interviews when they're more qualified. So I talk to a lot of high qualified people who are not getting interviews because they're lacking strategy and visibility. Now, once you get to the interview process, and that's when you get to the stage 3, it's communication. Why I say communication? Maybe I'm biased. I have a BA, bachelor's degree in communications, organizational communications. I'm a teacher. I'm an adjunct professor. I teach a communication class online for the last 5 years. Interpersonal communication. For me, communication is everything. No matter how much you know, if people don't know that you know, you unknown. Right? Let me repeat this. I just created this here. No matter how much, I don't even know if I can remember. No matter how much you know, if people don't know you are unknown. All right, record that, guys. There's the GPT. You gotta communicate your message. You communicate via written format. You communicate via video format like this. You communicate via. I don't know. I'm very visual, so I like to draw pictures and do all sorts of cool stuff. But you have to have communication because guess what? Interviews. What's the interview all about? What is the interview all about, everyone? interviews. It's about communication. No matter how much you know, no matter how qualified you are, no matter how amazing your PhD, PhD, MBA, I don't care. If you cannot make a human connection, human connection, like I'm trying to make here right now with you, listening to this, if you cannot make a human connection, that people are not gonna like you. They need to know, like, and trust you. Communication, communication, communication. So you get to the interviews, the communication as you try to network with people, communication as you do negotiation, communication as you are reaching out to your friends at church, community. Hey, I'm open to work. Do you know why I posted like last week? I absolutely hate. I don't like the green banner. I'm like whispering now because some people might get mad with me. Like I don't like this. I don't like the green banner. Here, I don't like it. I don't like the green banner just because what communicates. Seriously, um, I think communicates more. It's you. It's not about you can tell people that you're open to work. You can even put on the algorithm so people can find you that you're open to work. There's ways to do that, but it's just how your mindset works. How you it's not good for you. It's good for other people. You get visibility for other people. It's better to make a post on LinkedIn about the things you learned that you're learning as you're looking for the next job opportunity. And you hustle like yeah, I sent 10 interviews today and I got out of the 10 I got 15 no's. And those are the three things that I learned this week. Post that, it's gonna be much better than just or maybe put maybe open to work degree better for just a week and then take that down and then go work. All right, and that's me. Anyways, don't get me going on this thing. But okay, so let's be so visibility, be in front of the right people, the right time, with the right message, communication. It's just how you're gonna nail. Now, if you get all those three right, guess what? Guess what happens? If you get step one, two, three right, then you get to the offer, right? Now, on each section, there is, gosh, numerous steps that I can take that I help my clients. There's 10 minutes left here. I want to see if there's any questions. Um, this is strategy. This whole thing is strategy. What I'm trying to teach you, principles that can be used for tech sales, for any job that you're looking for. In fact, I'm writing a book about this stuff. Um, because I teach strategy. Strategy, it's universal. It's based on principles and can be used now. My kids can use the future. Nobody's watching this right now. Maybe my kids watch, 5, 10 years from now. They're gonna be like, "Thank you, Dad, for help me figure it out," because it's evergreen, right? So I can talk about here about a tool. The tool could be dead tomorrow, might not even exist. You see what I'm trying to say? I like to teach strategy. I'm a job search strategist. Okay. I don't go on trends, and I don't go on what's the newest tool. I know them. I know all the trends. I'm here. I'm seeing every day. I'm talking to people. But I like to teach strategy. so you know how to fish and you can go fish on your own, and you're never gonna need another coach anymore to find jobs. That's my goal. That's my vision, and that's what I'm here for. Now, today I went through this. I don't even plan to talk about this, but I went through the three foundational steps that can get you unlocked on any job that you're looking for. Is strategy, have the right strategy, have the right visibility, have the right communication, uh, and nothing's going to stop you. Okay? The environment is not going to stop you. The economy is not going to stop you. You know, because you're acting based on the things you can control. You're acting based on proactivity instead of reactivity. You're being proactive and not being reactive. When we're proactive and we're focused on the things we can control, then we get things done. If you're just focusing on the things you cannot control, then your results go, probability of achieving is much lower. So hang in there, stay strong if you like transitioning. I teach based on personal experience. I teach based on the things that I have gone through myself. I have gone through two unemployments, laid off, and I have break into tech sales in a big tech organizations, IBM, Microsoft. I know the process. I know how to do it, and I have done times and I have helped multiple people to do it. Now there is about a minute here. Let me take a quick water break. Give me a second. All right. Ask me anything, guys. Dayvisson GPT, ask me anything. This is live coaching. This is, let's see here. I don't see any other question here. I see there's about 3 people live. I'm not sure if you're there or not. Tell me if you have any questions. I'm here for you. Go to my DM, connect, send me the question. If you're embarrassed or shy or whatever it is, I'm here to help you. So I got about 10 minutes left. Um, if you're not, I can just go to my posts, and I love talking about my posts. I don't just want to. I can actually go here right now. I'm not gonna wait, guys. We only have 10 minutes left. All right. Here's the deal. Also, I'm open to feedback. If you have feedbacks about the GPT, what works, what doesn't work, how I'm an open book here. You can ask me about how I do this, how crazy I am. 4 kids and building a coaching business, and I just love it. Love it. I'm so energized. I found my ikigai. It's something that the world needs, something that I know I'm good at it, and I know I can help people, and I get paid for it, I can provide for my family. It's just not nothing better. I I have many dreams and ideas and things I want to do. This is it. This is it for now, and I am super grateful that I can do tech sales funnels right now. Um, Give me a second. I hear something. I don't know if it's coming from LinkedIn or coming from some other place. All right, gonna go to my posts. Okay, I'm gonna find one post that I made this week. I already talked about layoffs. If you missed, I talked about the first 10 minutes about layoffs. Not talking about layoffs anymore. Um, just go back to my post. I said yesterday, generic job search advice is keeping great sellers unemployed. There's a lot of Here's the thing. Here's the thing about coaching. Okay, there is hundreds and thousands of coaches out there. All right, my niche is tech sales. Right, this is the industry that I'm passionate about. It. I've been the last 10 years. IBM, Microsoft. I've seen it. I've done multiple roles. I understand, and I can help people. Any people get jobs in any industry, but I'm expert in the tech sales industry, and that's why I'm helping people get jobs in tech sales. Right? It changed my life. I want to change other people's lives. Double my income when I change jobs. I want to help people double income. It took me from being stuck to unstuck and fulfilled. I want to help people get from stuck to being fulfilled, right? But stuff that we teach, talk as coaches, it's the same. Think about a sports coach, right? There's hundreds of soccer teams, there's hundreds of football teams. The techniques, the strategies, it might tweak and change a little bit based on the coach, based on the league that you play, or based on the level that you play. But about 70-80% is the same. Okay. Now your secret nugget, your energy, your power, your skills, that's what makes difference. And I'm trying to make a difference in the tech sales industry. I'm not only trying to coach, I'm trying to build a community of tech sellers, right? This industry can be sucky sometimes. You can have layoffs, right? But if we're together, if we can help each other bounce back quickly by giving recommendations, by building a community of tech sellers where we can not only help each other, but make each other be successful, not only getting jobs, but after you get the job. That's what I'm trying to do, right? Um, um, so I'll talk about generic advice. Just be aware. You can go to a doctor, and the doctor is a generalist, and he's going to give you a very generic, and then he's going to send you to an expert, right? Maybe let's say you have a headache, and you go to the generic doctor, and he's going to give you some sort of Tylenol prescribed, and like, hey, maybe this might fix for the next, day or two. I think you need to find, I don't know, I'm not in the medical field now, neurologist to help you with your, headaches. And that doctor is going to be more specific. Is going to be able to help you better. So be careful as you go on LinkedIn and try to get information about job search. Find. It doesn't have to be me. I'm not saying that. Find someone who's actually understand the industry, the coach that understand the industry that you're gonna try to break into, that you're trying to get a job into. First, they're gonna show better empathy. Second, they're gonna know more the ins and outs of what's happening in the industry. And third, they're gonna be a better strategist for you. They're gonna prescribe better things for you. All right, just a thought. So think about that. Let me go to another post here that I made this week, and then we'll be done for today. I have a blessed being here live, and if there is one listening 3, 10, 100, I just before I join here, I pray that this is gonna touch and help someone, and I'm just here to deliver, and you get what you get. It's Dayvisson GPT live. So I'm gonna make a last comment here, and I'm gonna go. It's Friday, everyone. Hopefully you enjoy. Take a break if you're job searching this weekend. Reflect, work on your strategy. Think about your why. Think about, how fast you need to move. What are your options? All the good stuff. Give me a second here. Yeah. So let me talk about this post here. I didn't go to any Ivy League organization. A lot of people think that in order to work in Fortune 500 companies, the recruiting process, I'm an underdog. Okay, the literal definition of an underdog, that's me, an immigrant, first gen college, first gen master's degree, first, one of my family to make 6 figures, first one of my family to make 7 figures, first. I'm trying to break all those things that society might think like, oh, it's impossible. Not for me. I'm not being cocky or prideful or anything, but I feel like if you have the right mindset, the right strategy, and if you work hard, you can achieve almost anything. Um, Especially when it comes to job search. So, quick 2 cents here. If you think it's impossible, prove it. prove it wrong, right? If you think that it's impossible getting to Microsoft, challenge yourself, and you don't have to prove anyone else. Just prove to yourself that's possible. Have the right strategy. Again, have the right strategy, build the right visibility, get the communication right, and you'll be on your way. Everyone, it's 10 o'clock. I've been talking for 1 hour. Just to myself, I can only hear myself. So I'm tired. Happy Friday. Have a great weekend. Talk to you soon.